Greetings, fellow viewers of Player2's Games Club. Today we have the honour of me choosing my favourite game of all time, Zone of the Enders, the second runner. Now before we get into all this, let me just give you a little bit of background of why this became my favourite game. Growing up on PlayStation 1, I played Omega Boost, which is a game in similar feel, but also a very different game. Similar feel in being a third-person mecha kind of fast-paced shooter. And it was the first game ever my dad actually sat down and played. Like, I had to hire it overnight back in the day, and he stayed up till about 2 a.m. playing it, and I wasn't allowed to interrupt. So it was really cool. Then years went on, and you bought the occasional PlayStation magazine, and I saw this game, Zone of the Enders, and I could not find it for the life of me. It wasn't a huge popular release, of course, not very much in the meta of gaming, but I did come across it in a Cash Converters in Geelong, so I brought it, played it, absolutely loved it. Time went on, and a trailer for Zone of the Enders, the second runner, came out, and I frothed it straight away. I was like, wow, what an amazing kind of game. Like, it's changed a lot. Like, as if you do progress through the games, you'll see that the combat system changed, even the graphics changed, and it was really, really cool. So I freaked out being a child, and I was like, I have to get Zone of the Enders, the second runner, as my email address straight away. Like, that's what I did. I went to an EB and I pre-ordered it because I was freaking out that I wasn't going to be able to get a copy. When my sister went to pick it up, like, she saw a line out the door waiting for this game, and I was like, whoa, well, no way. And everyone was after FIFA. I was the only person to pre-order this game. So just a little bit of background. I'm the only person that I know that has played this game. Luckily, I got the two other fellas to play it, so now there's 3 people that have played this game. So enjoy whatever this is going to be, and give it a go. It's grouse. Its HD remake has come out on both PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. I was lucky enough to get it on 360, but my mate, knowing how big of a fan I was, bought me the PS3 limited edition on Amazon. So enjoy.
Welcome to the Player2 Video Games Club for the month of April. I'm Paul James, your host, and I'm joined today by Jay Parnas.
Good to see you.
And returning from a siesta of some sort, Damo Camilleri.
Siesta. Fuck yeah, mate. I just had a nap during, the whole month.
3 weeks.
You would have seen last month in patch episodes that Damo was lost to us for a while there. We weren't too sure what happened or where he went, but he's back, and
he did in fact do everything. Everything that a person could do in any space of time, he completed.
It was the Bowie thing, man. Like, I had enough of Charlie, called the Goblin King, and boom, Labyrinth. Took me a month to get out of this shit. Alrighty.
I don't know what that was. But, so this month, I was only half listening. I was trying to work out what I was doing next. Damo, it was your game for April, so what did you select for us?
The greatest game of all time.
Which is?
Not the greatest game of all time. My favourite game of all time, Zone of the Enders, the second runner.
And I'll actually throw it to you because it was your game for the month, so you can start talking us through it and guiding us through this conversation.
Alright, no stress. Okay, so Zone of the Enders, the second runner, is a sci-fi mecha third-person shooting, close combat, awesome,
tag
fun, just hashtagged game. So I brought it to the lads because I love this game, whole heart and soul. That does not mean I have my blinkers on. There are flaws with the game. The fact that nobody knows the game is my biggest flaw. So these are the only people I know that have played the game now. But, gentlemen, let's start with a basic question.
Cool, lay it on me.
What was your experience with the game?
Frustration.
Frustration.
But, we talked about that before. So, from what you've told me, the difficulty mode that I selected was probably not optimum for a short time playthrough.
But at the same time, normal is typically the default, and that's what you selected.
Yeah.
That's what I selected when I played as well.
Yeah.
So you may be a bit deceptive on that front.
I suppose. I found that some of the, and as I said before, some of the things that the game was asking me to do was contrary to what the game was asking me to do, if that makes sense. So it's like, it was giving me these mission objectives, like escort a person, or, you know, don't hurt this person, or do this thing, and yet it's locking me on to my friends, and like all my homing attacks are going to at my friends, and you explained to me today that there's a heal option. You can pick them up and heal them. Yeah. Not explained anywhere. And I read the digital manual like back to front. Like before I played, I actually, like, both you and I
would have knocked off an hour or two of my gameplay, and I just know that I was able to do that. Across multiple missions. That's sort
these
of
guys,
and also like the trudging through that minefield where it's very slow. Whereas, I mean, this is thrown at you as like a fast-moving robot action game.
Oh yeah, man.
So like there were a lot of mission objectives that seemed counterintuitive to what the game was showing me was what it's...
It wants you to do things quickly, but then puts roadblocks in the way.
Yeah. It's like, hit people hard and fast and smash through all these dudes. Here's a bunch of missions where you don't get to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, it just... like, so that was really frustrating for me. Yeah, I don't know.
Look, so Damo had set the second runner as being the game that we play, the second game in the series, but for the sake of kind of story, that sort of thing, I thought I'd play both.
Yeah, I did the same.
So I started with the first one, went through into the second. I didn't really make much sense of what was going on story-wise, but I typically don't. When it comes to something that's kind of anime influence like that, I kind of tune out. You guys would have gathered that also when we did Killer 7 the other month as well.
You have no understanding of what is anime. That's fair enough. When it comes to something...
It's not my scene. I don't quite engage with it properly.
That's fair enough.
But that's fine, because realistically, this particular game is really there. It's the gameplay that it's trying to sell you on, and that fast-paced action was enjoyable. There were, as we spoke about, there was a few roadblocks along the way, but for the most part, I was quick, and I liked zigging and zagging all over the shop, and grabbing people, throwing them, jumping, slash, fly out, homing missiles, charge in again. Like that was pretty cool. There was lots of really good things in it, and it was just a few tiny little roadblocks, and then for me a story that doesn't just because of my general interest doesn't engage with me, that kind of held it back.
So I understood the story probably a lot more than this guy did. There were still some things where they were saying, like, it seemed like the information they were giving me, like where people were from, and who was fighting for who and who was fighting against who, seemed to be a little bit convoluted. Like there was the Space Force, but then there was also Earth, and then there was Mars, but then there was also Bahram, and I'm like, are they 4 separate entities, or are they 2 entities? Like it was a little like that bit was a bit of a grey area for me. And
it is a Kojima game. So
for sure.
There's a million different things going on.
Yeah, there was probably 8 other people fighting in that fight that I didn't really acknowledge. You know what I mean? Like there's probably insurgents that I wasn't aware of. But anyway, like my point is, I too played the first one. I actually found that some of the stuff with the first game was a bit more appealing, because I was able to do those skirmishes at my will. Yeah. So like you would have played the first one. I'm pretty sure you said in the opening video that
many times.
Yeah. So for me, being able to dash in, have those little skirmishes, if I found myself overwhelmed, being able to escape and have them like stop giving a shit about you. Yeah. Like, where if you unlock and you get them out of your screen for a couple of seconds,
you do the escape thing.
Yeah. I found that it was really good to be able to have little skirmishes when I wanted to. You know what I mean? So I could run around the enemies and like not fight them. But if I'm like, I'm going to take everyone out here because whatever, I want the ammunition or I want the health or whatever the case may be, I was able to do that, which I found to be really open. Whereas with the second runner, it was a bit more corridor-esque. It was like, kill these dudes, then you have to kill these dudes, and then you have to kill these dudes.
Yeah.
So which is a bit more linear.
They changed the complete style.
Of course.
One was in an open world, and you went from mission to mission, you flew there. Yeah. And the second runner was a very linear kind of...
Yeah, I actually think that worked probably more to its strength, because it really highlighted the action when you were doing the action. Whereas for this... Again, when you have to do those missions where it is forcing you to play a certain way, felt like it worked against what its strength was. Like you said, I agree. I was telling you about today how, like, when you can grab the enemy and, like, you can smash one enemy robot against another enemy robot and then do the Super Mario 64 hammer throw into a third robot. That shit felt. And then you get an ability later on where you can, like, grapple dudes from a distance and do that shit.
Rein him in and then keep going.
Oh. Well, yeah, if you use Naked JT too, like, if you try and, like, you know how I showed you could heal people by charging up and things like that? If you grab an enemy and do that, they just explode.
See, that again, they don't explain these really cool abilities. That's the thing, like, show me.
But no, that's just because, like, how overpowered you become at the end of the game.
True. It did have that sort of spike I found in the first game as well. It was like your abilities were like mediocre, and then you get like a couple of abilities, and it's just like, oh, I'm obliterating everybody. Like I'm punching bosses with Gauntlet. Get Gauntlet ASAP in both games.
Awesome sub-attacks. So
yeah,
quite awesome.
It's like the cross in Castlevania. It's like once you get it, you don't want anything else because it just nukes everything. So that was how I felt in terms of, like, the two next to one another. There were definitely aspects of the first one that I preferred over the second one, just because, again, it highlighted what the game did best.
Yeah.
But it definitely did, like, a lot of that sort of fast-paced movement a lot better. Like, again, the options that you had when you grabbed someone were significantly different. Like, when you grab someone, I think you just then throw them in the first game. That was it.
Yeah, that was it. You couldn't punch them, you couldn't swing them.
Yeah, you did. You had so many more options, which is really good. And you could also use them for a shield, I remember. You could block unblockable attacks when you grabbed an enemy. So you could use them literally as a mecha version of a human shield, which is pretty funny. So yeah, there was, I don't know if that sort of levels things out, but, like, there was, like, if you were to hybrid the two games together, you would probably have, like, the perfect Zone of the Enders game for me personally, if that makes sense.
No, that's fair. So if you're going to go play Second Runner, give first one a shot too.
I would recommend, get the HD collection, get them both, play them both.
I would imagine most these days, if anyone's going to watch this and pick up the game, they're probably going to pick up the collection on PS3 and 360.
That's the easiest way to gain access.
So you don't really have an excuse not to go back to the first game. Try out the first game first.
And the first ones looked like they did some real good HD stuff with that. That was for the PS1, I think you were saying before?
No, PS2.
Was the first one on the PS2?
I mean, the reason I got into this game was because of a game on PS1.
Oh, right, that's right. Looks real good. It looks like similar to a lot of anime like Dragon Ball Z type games where they use cell shading to make things look sort of timeless in a way. Yeah. Which we sort of had with Kill 7 last month.
Yeah.
That sort of style where you don't necessarily go for the hyper-realism, you go for, like, the block colours and the...
Yeah. It was like
timeless.
As the original...
Really good
style.
style.
Like, from the article I read when I was a kid, like, I still remember it was like, the guy was just stoked. He was like...
article, like a preview or something you'd been...
Yeah, like, you buy those PlayStation magazines.
Hyper or PSM or something.
Yeah, I think probably maybe Hyper, but... Yeah, he was like, it's such a good blend of, like, anime graphics in a, like, 3D kind of game. So, like, your environment is a blend, like, it's almost like those anime painted, like, environments, but then, like, you've got the cool explosions which turn, like, a bit cel shady and things like that. And it was really kind of cool to have in it.
Not quite. Maybe in Wind Waker-y, kind of, like, even the explosions when you're blowing up the terrain. It's even got the second one
starting to enter that sort of
territory. Yeah, one had...
Oh, the first one was different. But I mean, this is the game we're talking about.
What do you...
the second one was 2002, so it would have been prior to that, I suppose. 2001.
Yeah, it would have been right.
99, maybe.
What, second one?
The first one.
Oh, the first one, I'm not entirely sure.
2000, something like that. I'll look it up while we're going.
Yeah.
Kick on.
Good. So, what are you gonna, like, alright, what was your best like and dislike about the game? Like, if you're gonna break it up, people, like, when you view something, like a pro and con kind of a thing. Like, what was your massive pro and what was your
biggest high, biggest low type deal?
Yeah, kind of.
Cool, yeah. You want to go first?
Some of the boss encounters were some of the low. There was one or two that just... it almost felt like deliberately trying to make me want to throw my control at the screen.
Just give you a heads up.
there's one or two that are a little bit on the tedious side. They're perhaps a little vague.
I can actually...
And as we played one before, and what was the boss's name again? The last one that you were playing just before we started recording.
The AI virus.
AI deletion.
I can give you a hot tip. This is some hot shit right now. Swing your sword immediately after she swung her sword. Guaranteed parry.
Yeah. But it's getting that timing though. Like that was the hard thing.
That's the thing. So your timing when you expect to do something like that is to press at the same time that they swing.
Yeah.
You have to press just after. When it's like, you have to you think parry tactics rather than like sword clash tactics. Even though it is a sword clash thing. So remember that. That is some hot shit for you right now.
So that was your con.
Well, I mean, the thing is, some of the other boss fights were awesome as well.
Yeah. So would you say like
it was just more that the boss fights were just a bit hit and miss. Like there was a few that were right on point, and it was exhilarating to kind of, as I was talking about before in general combat, you can kind of dive in there, slash, fly back, defend, whatever it is I need to do. Go in for another quick burst, whatever. Like, and you had to think your way through the match, because if your mind wasn't switched on the whole time, you were going to all of a sudden get owned.
Yeah, if you overcommit in this game, your health bar gone.
It's just fine, because that's like, if you even think about your Bloodborns and Dark Souls these days, if you overcommit in a match there or in a fight there, you're gone as well. Like
a match.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying match.
Filth.
But in combat there, if you overcommit, you're screwed.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You've got to kind of take your time, pace it. It's just, hey...
The real Dark Souls start here.
Yeah, why not?
Sorry to get a little memey.
By the way, the original game, 2001.
Is it? Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this one came out 2002. Yeah, I don't know. I was reading the copyright. That's like... That's not...
It's a good indicator.
It's an alright indicator. Anyway. Yeah, look, I would probably have to say...
What was your pro, though?
No, like I said, the boss fights were hit and miss, so there was some that were... there was just some really high highs, and then there was just some...
So you like the boss fights,
but I also hate
so that's a pro and a con.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I'll give you that.
The visual style, then, if you want me to, it would look fantastic.
Yeah.
Despite the fact it was a PS2 game, that we're kind of tuned into, very glossy sort of visuals these days, your Witches and Bloodborns and those sorts of things, and...
I don't know.
You can step back and play that HD collection.
There has been some HD remakes that are steaming piles.
Oh yeah, I know, and that's
I went back and
fantastic job. It's the art style that carries it.
I missed Devil May Cry because I was a Nintendo boy in those days, and so I went and bought the Devil May Cry collection. Man, it does not it still looks like shit. Whereas this game looked great.
Actually, I was going to bring up Devil May Cry. That's how I felt the difficulty was in this game. Was very Devil May Cry-ish, like.
Well, I couldn't play that.
Because normal mode in Devil May Cry is like, this is on normal. Like it's just so goddamn good. But easy, it was just like, yeah, okay, you just want to cruise through the game, go for it. Like it's just like such a step back, and then you harden extreme, but just think of nightmares are made of. But go pros and cons.
So, look. There was a few frustrations that I have, so I'm just trying to think. Again, I don't want to
We don't want to spoil how to tackle a boss encounter.
Oh no, that one I will happily spoil. Remember that shit. After she attacks, you swing. Trust me. Try it without.
You'll fall on your face.
You will cry tears of blood. Moving on. Look, so for me, I actually had some issues with some of the camera. The camera stuff in combat was not good.
In that era, camera control also wasn't as good as what we're used to.
I suppose.
You're looking at a game like Armored Core, which is another mecha game, and that had a very solid, you are looking from the back of your dude.
Perspective.
Always fixed like that. And I mean, I think this game could have done a really good job of that, and maybe broken out from that. On the, you've grabbed an enemy and you're spinning them around or something like that. Or
it was real close. In Zone of the Enders 2, the camera was way too close.
Yeah.
Zone of the Enders 1, I felt like the camera was at a perfect distance from the character. Zone of the Enders 2 was way too close. I felt like it was claustrophobic. I'm like, I can't see what's happening. There's explosions and I'm hammering the X button. I played on the 360 version rather than, I think you played on the
PS3.
Yeah.
Love me a trope.
Hammering on the X button so I can see a sword swinging in and amongst smoke effects and shit, but and I'm gonna lump in lock on in that as well, because being able to lock on to your friend in a rescue mission is officially the dumbest thing ever. If you have an escort mission, okay, people don't like escort missions in games, we get that. Being able to lock on with homing attacks to your escortee,
especially when you've got something that's, there's such a wide spread.
You've got
you hit most enemies, and then all of a sudden there's your one little mate standing in the middle there that just cops a hammering at the same time.
You've got your sort of Gundam circus attacks. It's missile circus in Gundam. It's like laser circus, I suppose, in this one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you'll be a distance away. Like you drop down your friend, and enemies will swarm them while you're fighting the bigger enemies over elsewhere. So you turn around. Oh, cool! I'll lock on here, and it just locks onto them as well. And you release, and you're like, oh shit! I've just fucking lost the mission.
Yep.
And now I get checkpointed like an hour backwards.
Yeah.
Or like 20 minutes backwards. That was like that stuff.
And how much help would have it been knowing that you could have just restored
to be able to heal? Yeah. Oh my god. The difference between like frustration.
I shouldn't laugh.
You might have cut an hour or two out of your game time had you known.
Yeah.
And I would have said,
mate, I think my Xbox 360 controller is now warped slightly like this from just wrenching it.
I can look, as I said, this is like my favourite game, but I can't say I blame anyone for this stuff.
Perfect, but most are.
Like, no, definitely. Like, I mean, look, mate, perfect game, Tetris, let's admit. There's nothing wrong with Tetris.
Yeah, alright. There's nothing wrong. I'll give you that. Tetris is a perfect game.
And the story in Tetris.
Dude,
I'm just
building in communism. This is you're building houses for Mother Russia. That is, what more story do you need? They take the main story of Tetris and they give little bits to everyone. So the little bit of no, I know. Fuck it.
That was
hashtag communism jokes. Moving on. In terms of the highs for this game, look, definitely the combat, the melee combat.
Melee, I wasn't a massive fan of the range. Like, I know you saw me doing a lot of range, but that's because I'm just so OP at that stage.
So I was telling you a little earlier, I found that the homing lasers was weird for me to have that as a movement attack.
Yeah.
Like where you're having to lock on to a whole bunch of enemies and waiting for all those circles to appear.
Yeah.
That for me in games nowadays would be a standstill attack.
Yeah.
Whereas your charged attack would be something you would do on the move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me that's how I felt that should
build it up as you're
moving around, dodging. Yeah. I mean maybe that would have made it too strong.
Yeah.
But it would have I would have felt a lot more comfortable being able to lock on, sitting there, and that way you can make those lasers a little bit stronger. They wipe out all of those little enemies, because I felt like some of those enemies could take a couple of hits, like the little mosquitoes. When you're playing through the game the first time, it just it was just tedious to wipe them out from a distance. Which, I mean, when you've got your laser circus thing where you're locking onto a zillion enemies and shooting all of them, you want to nuke everyone. You want to fire once, nuke everyone.
Would you say you want a typical anime style thing, where it's all the little lights, and then it just flows by that with the casual explosions?
For sure,
would have been great.
That's what I would have wanted. When you put that in a game, you're making a promise to. It is an unspoken promise that if I lock onto every single enemy on screen, there'll be just a wipe of death. And unfortunately, that's the thing, there wasn't. But the melee combat and Wisp, which is an ability you get about halfway through, it's basically just like a tractor beam to pull into grab, which means you don't have to have grab on, because grab often didn't work for me. Enemy would just shrug me off, and I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'll stab you then, whatever.
Yeah, the repel of grab was kind of weird. I mean, it was cool to see. It's you can't just be randomly growing around grabbing a full, it's, I don't know.
Just an enemy,
Yeah.
Look, I would have preferred, if you're going to do something like that, give me the bad thing of gaming where it's a tiny little quick time event where I have to hammer the B button or something.
Yeah, that would have been handy.
Yeah.
That would have been nice,
because it gives you some form of indication of, okay, I can overpower this enemy, and there is a teetering of, okay, if I get to this point, they'll knock me off. If I get to this point, I get to grab you for free.
Yeah.
Whereas there wasn't, just sometimes it would work, sometimes it wasn't. It was a little. But when we're talking about the combat of slashing into dashing into grabbing into swinging around an enemy and throwing it to some dude off in the distance, and that shit was like real good. There were like glimmers of moments where you do feel like a fast moving badass.
Yeah.
And that was, for me, that was what I wanted from that game.
Awesome. This is grouse. No, I don't know, pro and con for me, I guess, myself. Massive pro is always the combat, the close range combat always did things, but like the feel of the combat, like, I mean, one, I felt, I don't know, it didn't feel, the story of your combat didn't feel great, whereas this one it was like, I don't know, like a story of vengeance that became like the rising white knight hero kind of a thing goes on. Like,
sure, yeah.
I mean, there's a huge war scene in it later on in the game where I think you're with about 8 or 10 other guys, and it's just an open field,
waves and waves and waves,
and it's just enemies flooding in, and
it was absolutely Missile game,
and it was just like, I remember playing it, and I mean, being a kid, like, you're like, whoa, it's like, whoa, like, what is this? Because, you know, it's like, what are you going to do? And I mean, like, that's also my tripe with the game, though. Like, as awesome as it was, you get ranked on those missions, and like, I mean, first time playing it, would be B or C, like, thing, and it was just, it was just hard, like,
when I played it and you were a kid.
Yeah, and I mean, like, because, you know, your sub weapons are great and everything like that, but that's another problem with the locking on, was like, you've got to lock on to one of your guys to throw a sub weapon on them to heal them, and you've got like 15 guys just going, and you're like, all right, like, I need to get there, and there's no quick way to get there, and being like, I mean, obviously, I don't know, I could probably play it again and see how I pan out. I mean, it's been a while. I was close then. But
So for me, not being able to have like a mission list where I could retry missions, that was a bit of like a missed opportunity, and also being able to retry missions.
Yeah.
Like, even if like during and after the mission, if I want to play it again and do better, then rank me on all the missions. Don't rank me on 2 missions over the whole game.
Yeah.
Rank me on all the missions and give me the opportunity to be able to replay them immediately.
I guess that's kind of like the...
If I feel like I fucked up during that, and I'm like, oh, well, I finished that with like a sliver of health, I could probably do better. It makes you want to
go back and do
for
better.
sure.
Yeah.
Like
I force you to wait until after the end game and then go.
Yeah, I mentioned like Bayonetta before. So Bayonetta, I'm pretty sure you've both played. You get your medal or whatever at the end of the thing. You can just immediately go back and play them again, and so it'll rank your whole playthrough on, like, it'll give you an overall.
Yeah.
If you then go back and play one of the missions that you scored like a bronze and you flip that to gold, your overall will be improved.
Okay.
Something like that in this game would have been like...
Yeah.
It gives that replay value.
Added incentive to go back.
Yeah.
Exactly, but having to play through the whole story again just to get a better rank on that. Because it actually changes dialogue from what I saw. Because I got a D rank on one of those missions, and the dude was like, you sucked dick during that mission. And I'm like, yeah, I did, didn't I? Like, and I'm like, no, well, I want to do that better. I want to actually be able to be like, no, man, I tore ass during that. What are you talking about? Like, I don't know. That's for me something. That, but again, all of this sort of stuff. Yeah. It's like,
well, yeah,
14 years ago.
You look at it like as like Metal Gear, like Solid. Like, you could never go back there. And I think maybe that's what Konami were aiming at. Like, just play through the game again. Like, get a better time. Because I mean, it's not a quick. It's not a long game.
Well,
I think it's 6
hours.
Maximizes your. I don't know, if you just want to look at it from a dollar sense, like, you're maximizing your value of the game if you're forced to go through and play the entire thing again because you want.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I
rather
played
just individual
again.
seconds.
I would argue.
Don't
I would
get me wrong,
argue
I'm not saying
that's
that's
not the
right.
case.
I'm not saying that's right.
I would argue being able to select your favorite missions and go back and play actually gives you value for money, because you're able to say this is my favorite part of this game, and I can go and I can play just that bit.
I don't have to play through the crap to get.
That's right. Well, yeah, I don't have to play.
No.
In terms of the big difference.
I get that. No, don't worry, man.
In any game.
Me starting that mission, it was like, man, I did this not too long ago. Like,
muscle memory.
Especially the crate thing, that wasn't super.
Yeah, or like
thing, like having to
realize that you had to do that whole parry mission again just to get to the wall. You're like, maybe I won't do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you had been just able to select it straight from the menu, you would have skipped the entire game up to that point to be like, check this out. You know what I mean?
Different times and
Yeah, for sure.
So you guys, oh no, you guys would not have played the multiplayer, so we'll skip over that. There is a multiplayer. As soon as you've done the VR training, you unlock Jehati, so you can both play as the main mech, character, which is also known as an orbital frame. I'm sorry I haven't introduced all this stuff. So you can play against each other, and you think you can set even your level too. So I always play with a handicap. I don't know why I play better with a handicap. Strange. And as the game progresses,
positive handicap maybe it's a handicap that it handicaps people that don't have a handicap.
I don't know.
Maybe it makes you more powerful.
No. I will go a level 1 and they can go level 5 and I'll fight better. I think it's because I take it a lot more seriously because I do enjoy the shit out of this game.
Oh yeah, cool.
So,
but that would probably be really fun. I'd probably like to take a crack at this if you can get another controller working. Yeah. Maybe after this, I'd be interested to see how the multiplayer would actually work.
We'll post the results in the comments.
The results, sure.
So, just a quick one. Did you enjoy, obviously, the voicing, not the voicing, the characters. Did you enjoy the characters of the whole
the characters
6 or 7?
Yeah, it was probably, my normal issues when it comes to anime and that sort of styling. That the voice work that went with it didn't necessarily tickle my fancy, but the characters themselves seemed right.
Yeah. Yep.
Can I pass?
Yeah. I don't know.
Look, so across both of the games, I couldn't give a fuck about any of the characters. None of them were appealing to me at all. So in the first game, the main character is the absolute cliche whiny child thrust into a situation.
Almost like a Shinji from Evangelion.
Yeah. No, I would probably say more like Simon from Gurren Lagann. Early.
What are you guys even saying? I have no idea what's going on.
We'll just cut Paul out for this thing. We'll zoom in.
Yeah, just pan over this way. You know what I mean? So basically, being overwhelmed and not wanting to hurt anybody and all that sort of stuff. But it was that for the whole game.
Yeah, he was. He was a bitch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Leo.
Yeah. And then in the second game, I just felt that the main character was just a dickbag. He was just rude to everyone. And there were cutscenes where he would, call up someone and be like, hey, tell me the situation. And they would start talking to the situation. And then he'd just be a dick to them, and that would be the end of the conversation. And then he would call up someone else, and it'd be the same thing. It's just a dude who, scrolls through his contact list and calls people up just to be a shithead to them. That's what it felt like, and again,
I have a couple of those people.
They're out there.
We know Hunter's not going to be watching this series.
They're out there, that's the thing, and that's what it felt like to me. And I'm just like, I officially now do not care about your situation because you're just a dick to everyone. But look, again, the overarching story about the situation that the solar system was in that was interesting, and the characters there that were not really sort of focused on were interesting. Your big bad is a very classic, big bad gets strong real quick and then stays strong until you eventually spike with power. And then you've got your cliche love interest, I suppose, which in the first one she was alright. In the second one, she was kind of just straight up a dick back to you. So I was just like, alright, whatever. Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, sure. I guess I'm a dick to you, so there's no reason for you to not be a dick back. Sorry if I'm saying dick too much.
Sausage.
Yeah. Just everyone was a phallus to one another. I don't know. That's how I felt. And look.
That's completely understandable, man. I loved Tingo to pieces because
also that's a really bad name for
it is.
I was hoping to eat a baby during the game. I'm like
the silver hair. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he might have to be either Aussie or possibly, I don't know, maybe from Mars. kind of, I can't remember
Yeah,
his whole
Red Planet,
history.
Red Country,
Because, like,
same
yeah,
thing.
he's kind of got the red, like, tandish kind of skin.
Well, character design, like design-wise, the characters were designed really well.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, I've got the art book in that thing, too. You can have a look at later.
Yeah, even like
And
all-
you guys can have a look at it, too. If you buy it on Amazon.
Right there.
All right, cool.
He's trying to sell copies.
Yeah, I want more people to play this.
Yeah,
For the game.
I know that feeling. I know that I had
Yeah.
that feeling with the game we did last month, and I
Yeah.
had that feeling with a game that we've done before, Jet Set Radio. Like, I want more people to play those games
Yeah.
because they're fucking amazing. So I totally get that. And yeah, like the character design, older Leo in Zone of the Enders 2.
Oh, so much cooler.
Yeah, like a cool character. Speaking of that, reminds me, really weird Gradius reference. He's flying the Vic Viper with options and shield and lasers, and I'm like, am I the only one that recognizes that this is a Namco like property that's being referenced here in a Konami game? Like right in the middle of like, hey, we big corporations are not friends. Like that would be like seeing Ryu in Tekken 2. No, that's not gonna. No, they don't. No, that doesn't happen. I mean, now I guess it does, but fucking whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
It was a different time.
Yeah, it was a different time. Like they straight up, it's the same. Like you're calling out option. Like what are you doing? I don't know. Like that was.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I thought that was cool or confusing. Probably both.
I did like Anubis. Like
Yes.
your arch enemy kind of.
Yeah, I like
orbital
that.
frame.
I
like-
actually would have liked if Jehuti was modelled a little bit more like that, give it a bit of an Egyptian feel.
Well,
'Cause
that's
they're supposed to be twins, right?
Yeah.
That's not a spoiler. That's from Zone of the Enders 1, so technically we're talking about Zone of the Enders 2. So you know this already.
So you
of
had
course.
your opportunity.
Yeah, that's right.
But
You know
I
this
mean, I
already.
think it explains it
Yeah,
pretty
it
much
does.
in the start of the game.
I think it does, yeah.
Like, he's a real cool bad guy, too. Like,
Yeah.
really insane. Real anime villain, though.
Yeah,
Put it
for
that.
sure. For sure. Like, conquer the world because my thoughts are the only ones that matter. Yeah, I don't know. Like, other than that, I think like the way that everything was designed, like the enemy design was cool.
Yeah.
I like that some of the tankier enemies, when you blew them up, they ended up being just the weak enemies underneath. Like it was.
Yeah, the mummies had, like, their shield
Same
in
with
front.
the clogs as well. If
Yeah.
you smash them, they are just a raptor.
Raptor.
underneath.
Yeah, that was cool name links.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Now, I was even able to show you a feature today where you're able to, like, retort to the AI.
Yeah. Oh, man, I just...
Which I was
Did not, like, I think as a kid playing, like, I didn't realise you could do that because, like, I was so, like, into the joystick, like, you know,
Oh.
it was responding. I didn't realise.
You're also a kid, so you've just got tunnel vision. You just straight down. This is
But
what I do, this is
L3
what I
and
do.
R3
You don't
were
look at the other
not.
bits and
They were
pieces.
not big buttons on the
No,
PS2.
they weren't utilised.
They were almost never.
Yeah.
And assumedly, it's a direct translation to.
Yeah.
You know what was what. That was the only reason I was able to tell what generation this was from, because I'm like, okay, if you've got controller button presses, it has to be like the oldest it could be is PS2.
Yeah. It actually...
There certainly wasn't anything like that in the GameCube.
Second runner, like, broke my PS2 controller. Like, not broke it. Like,
you broke
it's...
your PS2 controller.
No, it broke it because no one fucking used R2 that much. No other game, so it eventually got stuck, and I had to.
Oh,
like,
dude, I was worried. I was worried about my 360 triggers. I'm like, I am pressing this a lot.
Yeah,
Like-
It's more than-
At least in your cases, it was just through the act of playing the game. I smashed a PS3 controller at Mod Nation races.
moment of silence for poor people. Just you poor.
You are.
All right.
Like
Gonna finish
I
up-
just playing it on the ground and the button popped straight out.
Oh,
Anyway,
I mean, this could be another episode of Patched after this. Yes. So I'm gonna finish this up. Would you like to see a sequel?
Do I think I'll see one? No, probably.
Of course not.
Do you think?
it was?
do you think
it was.
Kojima will make another
Well,
game?
Kojima's not going to do it regardless. He's gone. But
Who would even hold the property?
Konami.
No, they only make pachinko machines now.
They still hold the rights. So
Do you think
unless-
there's a Zone of the Enders pachinko machine out there somewhere?
Probably.
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I think the game did not succeed as well as they wanted. I mean, there was a Game Boy one, I think, that came out. Fist of Mars.
If there was a Zone of the Enders pachinko machine, would you buy it?
I would.
Okay. Good.
Should there be a sequel though? There probably should be, actually, because I think there was lots of things that both games, like elements in both games, that they did right. And
well, I mean, it can't have been
with
that
modern day
hated. It got a HD remake
and those sorts of things. Yeah, well, it had a cult following.
Any game that gets a HD remake.
Not as
Hit me up, people! Hit me up!
You can find him at Taco's Talks. If there's the one other person out there who's played this game, speak to him. He needs it.
Kojima, I know you're out there. I know you're watching.
Give us a buzz, alright?
I know you're out of work. Like,
no, he's not. He's working with Sony.
Shut up.
So he's out of work.
Should there be a sequel?
Don't take the episode.
I actually feel like there should be a sequel. Actually,
Yeah.
I think there was a lot they did right. They kind of got things off, on a good note there, and when they kind of add to it with modern day sort of tendencies in game development, it could really be something quite special. There's some really fast games out there. You were a massive fan of Platinum's Vanquish.
I was going to mention that. Have you played Vanquish?
No.
Play Vanquish.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Zone of the Enders in Vanquish.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's real. Like, I was going to mention that before.
Segue.
Yeah. In terms of whether I would like to see a sequel, no, I wouldn't want to see a sequel. But what I would like to do, and I was telling you about this before, is I would like to shatter this game into its individual base parts, like all its
components that make it up.
all of its base components, and I would like to pick and choose a large number of parts of this game, assemble it together, and build another game around it.
Yep.
Because the combat is great, the movement is great. Obviously, dodging could be better. I felt like hammering the triggers. No, that's dumb. Give me a proper dodge and give me a faster movement button. Give me two,
And the camera,
that's fine.
The camera issue.
I mean, the camera would be better if the lock-on was better.
Yeah.
So because the camera would flick you, like if you would hammer the lock-on button, it would move you between targets, but only targets that were near each other. And when you've locked onto an enemy, moving the right stick would just you would just spin and lock targets would go do, and you would get lost. So if they fixed that, the camera would be better by default. So I don't think that's really an issue. But you take your combat, you take your grappling, like maybe even put more of that stuff. Maybe I have a penchant for suplexes, like stuff like that. And then you start looking at, and again,
Complexity.
and look, this starts to bleed into one of my favorite games, No More Heroes. You have a look at your sword combat, very similar. Your grapple, very similar. If you're able to grab and hold people and use them as bludgeoning tools and shit like that,
So
you get some of your sort of executions of Mad World or something where you're throwing them into a wall. Obviously not a wall of spikes like Mad World, but some of your sort of environmental stuff. You get that. You get your fast movement, your long distance gun, sword type stuff. You got to be your red steel in there. Fuck it, who cares? You put all of this together and you've just got some shit hot character action game that in 2016, I mean, you look at
go down a tree.
You look at what character action games there are now, and you've got your Zelda-y style or your Tomb Raider-y style, or I didn't want to say Uncharted because I didn't want it to get too hot under the collar. So that's what you've got now. Your God of Wars are not really around anymore.
Your God of War will be back, but they're slower than this.
That's what I mean. Your brawlers are not really as prominent as they were around the PS2 era. But you look at this and it's fast. Yeah. And again,
Vanquish is about one of the other
look, I would probably argue maybe
games.
there is some element of Bloodborne that's very fast combat.
What?
Just watching what you were doing.
Yeah, we're not.
So your Bloodborne where you've got your fast hitting and then moving out of the way, dashing in, dashing back. You got your long distance gun. Again, that's probably why it spoke to me, because those elements of Bloodborne spoke to me. You put all that together in a game, not necessarily as retardedly hard as Bloodborne, and you've got a game that I will sit down and I'll pay full price for.
Yeah.
More importantly, being the Zone of the Enders fan, would you want to see another one?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the thing was, when I went to pre-order it, the guy was like, "Oh, Zoe 2 or Zoe 3?" And I was like,
3?
What? And I've never heard anything about it since. So to me, look, whether it comes out or not, probably it will never come out. I mean, if someone was to pick up something,
we're in the age of Kickstarter.
I mean, I'll be happy to see
like a spiritual successor to this game is absolutely.
Oh,
not out
well,
of the
that's how I
question.
felt like about like why I love this game so much was because of Omega Boost on PlayStation 1. Like, I feel like this is almost like its spiritual successor. Like,
with all your Metal Gear injected into it.
yeah, and now like another one would be great. Like, I mean, just another third person mech with anime elements. And oh, by the way, kudos to you, Sunrise, for redoing the intro. That was fantastic on the HD remake. If you guys even just want to check out the trailer, we'll be here.
Oh, you really got to stuck to it.
I edit all these, and I'm going to hit him the next time he does it.
We'll post a link.
There'll be
Right here.
There'll be a link to it. There'll be a link to it right here, which will point to down here in the comment section. I'm trying to help you. I'm not trying to hurt you.
I'm going to ignore everything that you've just said.
That's fine. You don't have to do it.
If
Anyway,
there's nothing there, it's Damo's fault.
we've taken way too much of your time.
YouTube.com/watch/xzy3279xab. Just ignore that. Put that in. It's probably a porn video. I don't know.
Moving on.
In summary,
If you want to pick up Zone of the Enders, you can pick them up on PS2 originally if you've
Still got one
happened
floating
to have
around.
one. If you go to Cash Converters and you might
if you've
find
got
one.
an original PS3, I suppose.
If you've got a PS,
Backwards
if you've got
compatible.
a PS3 or 360, you can see that we've got it's available on both. Did that remaster come to PC? Do you know?
Don't think so.
Okay, so you can pick it up on consoles. You can cross your fingers and hope that there might be a third game, but Konami doesn't care about anything but pachinko machines, so keep dreaming.
Get your
But
little metal balls
that's it
ready.
for the Video Games Club for April. So it's not the only show you can see on Player 2. You can catch up on every other week that's not
A Games
a Games Club. You'll find us doing patched
Yep.
episodes. Adam's also recently started a little video called Indie Development, where he looks at an indie game each week, month,
still in
fortnight.
thunder.
I'm not going to commit to how often for him because
No, do it.
Matt
Do it.
will hate-
Am I going to put a little icon for it
Daily.
right?
Adam, I'm sorry, mate. If you're watching it. But there's heaps of awesome content you can find on this Player 2 YouTube channel. So jump on, have a look. Visit player2.net.au for more awesome written content. You can find me on Twitter at PaulJamesP2.
More importantly, though, next month.
We'll get to that in a moment. You can find Damo at Taco's Talks. You won't find Jay unless you want to dig deeply into Twitter, and even then it's a waste of your time because he doesn't do anything.
No, I don't.
And of course,
I think maybe we'll give out Steam.
Player2AU.
I think we'll give out Steam names through maybe one of the patched episodes this month or next month. Yeah.
Jump on them. We'll make sure to put them in the future. So now we'll give you a moment in the sun. What's your game for next month?
Ladies and gentlemen, Psychonauts.
Oh yeah.
So
This month we're going to be playing. Well, next month we're going to be playing Psychonauts.
and it's actually probably good timing too, because I do believe it's coming to PS4s in the next month or so.
I mean, it's on Steam already.
It's on Steam. Yeah, it's been available for years. But if you're
But trophies, I know.
well, no. But even for those who don't necessarily have the means to go back and get it,
It's like
It's
a 2006
very easy- it's
game.
very
Like
easy to
if
get
you don't have a computer that can play it, get a better computer.
find trophies.
Yeah, let's be honest.
That's
it's
why
about
I'm doing it.
Yeah, Psychonauts, fantastic game by Double Fine. It's their first game. I adore this game. It's hilarious. It's got a whole bunch of dialogue in there. Hilarious dialogue, I might add, that you probably will never see if you don't just dick about and talk to people.
We'll call it quits there though, because now Jay's getting a little hot under the collar. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you all next month. Thanks again.
See you later.
Play the game.